Hey, I'm Terry from Everyday Sober, where we help people with an alcohol problem in a simple, clear, and understandable way. It can be difficult to get sober. I know. I struggled with sobriety for a very long time. But I did eventually get sober. And I have to say, sobriety is pretty awesome. So, what's so awesome about sobriety? Well, let me tell you about 10 things that happened when I stopped drinking, and that you too can experience if you stop drinking and follow a good sobriety program. So, before we get started, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel where you can find many videos about sobriety. Also, check out TalkSober.com to get more videos, PDFs, and tools for sobriety that will help you get over that hump and maybe even get you to a point where you could live a wonderful, fulfilling, sober life. The information on TalkSober.com is the stuff that we use to get sober and to stay sober today. So go check it out. Anyway, back to the 10 amazing things that happened to me when I got sober and that you too can experience. Now, I gotta be honest. When I first got sober, I'm talking that first week and kind of the first month, things were not that great. I had a pretty painful detox, but getting professional help made it much more tolerable. So if you're gonna quit, you too need to get professional help to get through that detox. Detoxing from alcohol is very dangerous, and to do it without help, it's even more dangerous. But once I got through detox and started to feel better, some things started to happen. First, my anxiety started to go away. It felt like a weight came off of my shoulders. When drinking, I felt like I needed alcohol to survive. If I didn't have alcohol, I would go through horrible withdrawals. I wouldn't be able to function. The anxiety of making sure I had alcohol was overwhelming. But once I got through the detox and I realized that I didn't need alcohol, I started to feel a new freedom. I could function without alcohol in my system. This was huge. I didn't think this could ever happen. Now, I do still have anxiety today, but it's more of a normal everyday kind that, it comes with life. And now that I'm sober and have developed some tools to use so I can deal with it. The second thing that changed was my physical health. Now, this was a pretty slow process. Alcohol really screwed my body up. But I did notice right away that I could do a little more than before. Like, I was able to walk my dog again, I could do light housework again, I could even do a short bike ride. My dizziness started to dissipate. I slowly started to regain my memory. I could concentrate on things a little better. My appetite started to normalize. I even started to lose weight. As I said, these things, they did change slowly, but nonetheless, I did start to get physically healthier. Okay, now number 3. Kind of goes with getting healthier, and that is I was becoming physically aware. I could feel and listen to my body. When I was drinking, I was still very physically active. However, if I had aches or pains or even an injury, I'd just go drink, take some ibuprofen, drink more, and go work out anyway. I still have injuries that I never could figure out when, how, or where they even happened. When I got sober, I could now feel when I needed to rest or go see a doctor. I started to become more aware of my body's needs and slow down when I needed to. The fourth thing that happened to me when I got sober is my sleep. It got better. When I was drinking, my sleep sucked. I would actually wake up in the middle of the night to drink some shots so I could go back to, sleep, or more likely passing out. Now, early in my sobriety, my sleep was still pretty bad. I couldn't sleep for longer than maybe a couple of hours. So I just took a lot of naps. But slowly, my sleep started to normalize. After about a month or so, I was sleeping through the night, and I started to feel nice and rested. Now, number 5, my life got simple. It was pretty nice. My life got simple for a couple reasons. First, I was not physically well when I first got sober. I was recovering from some serious damage that alcohol and alcohol withdrawal had caused. So I kind of had no choice but to make life simple. Second, I destroyed most of my relationships in my life, so I had very little drama going on. And finally, along with that, I had no job, no wife, no commitments that I really had to deal with. So I was able to start kind of with this clean slate. I decided to be honest and as willing as I could with everything. I just concentrated on getting better and staying sober. So the number 6 thing that happened when I got sober was that I started to regain my sanity. When drinking, my top priority was getting drunk, making sure I wouldn't run out of alcohol, and trying to keep anyone from knowing that I was constantly drunk. I did insane things. I remember going for a 62-mile bike ride with some friends, but the only way I could do it was having a bottle of vodka on my bike. I mean, that's pure insanity. If I had to sober up for something, I would use like websites to help me calculate how much and when I could drink. So I would sober up just enough to do whatever I had to do sober. Then I'd even bring a bottle of booze with me to drink the minute I finished. I mean, once again, that's pure alcoholic insanity. Now, in sobriety, I no longer think about the drink. I do have to stay aware, but alcohol no longer rules me in my actions. Now, number 7, I bet many of you relate to. I no longer have regrets for things I may have done the day before when I was drinking. I mean, how many times had I woken up regretting what I had done or maybe said the night before? Do I need to go apologize to somebody, or do I need to hide? That's usually what I did. I mean, what a horrible feeling that was. What about when I couldn't even remember what happened? I mean, that was just the worst. But since I'm sober, I mean, those things, they just don't happen. I remember everything I did. I can walk with my head held high. I mean, what a great feeling. So the 8th thing that happened might be difficult to see if you're still drinking or you're pretty new to sobriety. But what happened to me is I learned how to deal with life. Well, mostly and sort of, but I mean, really, after all, life is a learning experience. But my previous solution to life and its problems was to drink. And you know what? Drinking never solved my problems. Sobriety and work at a program of sobriety has allowed me to develop skills and tools to deal with life in a positive and productive way. Now, grant you, I've had problems and tragedies in sobriety, and some have been really difficult to deal with, but dealing with them sober, it allows me to walk through them and get to the other side. So the number 9 thing that happened to me when I stopped drinking was I became happy. Well, at least mostly happy. I mean, people would tell me, be careful. You're just on a pink cloud. But to be honest, I'm still happy. Living life sober and having the freedom from alcohol and the ability to do what I want, I'm able to stay happy most of the time. I'm grateful to be sober. And if you stay sober, you'll find some of that gratitude. When we get sober, we get to do so many things that our active addiction doesn't allow. We get to see many of those people that we pushed away when we were drinking. We get to meet many new people. We get to go through all of life, present and in the now. Life is nothing like I thought it would be, but it still keeps getting better. My outlook on life is much different now. Different things make me happy, like helping and seeing others overcome addiction and other problems in sobriety. It's so satisfying to now be able to help family and friends with their struggles and watch them overcome many of their issues. Material things, they don't mean as much to me as they used to. And finally, the 10th thing that happened, it was huge. Friends and family started to come back into my life. Actually, most of them, they never really left. I had just driven them out of my life from my self-centered alcoholic attitude. When I was drinking, I wanted nothing to do with most people unless I could get something from them. And if I couldn't, I would either push them away or they would just step away from me. But as sobriety progressed in my life, I started to show through my actions that I was kind of an okay guy. People started to come back. They started to want to help me with my sobriety. I started to meet new friends that were also sober. I didn't and I don't have to isolate anymore. When drinking, I never thought I needed any relationships. But now that I live a sober life, I understand that healthy relationships are one of the cornerstones of a happy, serene life. Many things can happen when you get sober. And to be honest, some of them aren't so good. I was fortunate when I got sober. Things started to improve. I still have many issues to work through. But since I stayed sober and worked a program of recovery, I was able to move forward. If you're having a problem with alcohol, you can get sober. It might not be easy, but you can do it. You just have to implement a simple but effective program. First, you need to go to the doctor or an addiction specialist. They're going to help you get through those first dangerous days. They're not going to judge you. They're going to help you. Then, you need a program for recovery. And you can find one at TalkSober.com, where we have a simple but effective program for sobriety. Also check out our Facebook group and join us on one of our live YouTube shows at Talk Sober. Thanks for watching, and let's all help each other stay sober.